Coffee break with me. Woo! Hi beauties. So I don't remember when, maybe last week, some of you or one of you left me a comment and said, hey, you know, I really like makeup. I didn't use makeup until my 20s and now I'm older. I'm barely getting into it and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, what do I need to purchase? Okay, I'll buy some shimmer like hooker glitter. Where do I put it? So we kind of had a conversation back and forth and I said, you know what? I really like your input. Let me know what you're really interested in. Do you want high-end products, drugstore products? Like, what's going on? She's like, well, just the basics. Drugstore or high-end doesn't matter. It's just basically, what do I really need? And so that got me thinking, and I had like an inspirational moment, and I said, yeah, that's true. So many people are getting into makeup, but what do you actually need? If you were starting a makeup collection, what do you absolutely need to have in your collection? So what I did is I basically did my face, and I'm going to talk to you about products that I believe you need in your collection. If you like makeup, if you're just getting started, this makeup is not necessarily for someone that's like 13 or 14 just getting into makeup. This is more of not older woman, but obviously someone that likes makeup, wants to buy makeup, wants to start a collection, and wants to look presentable, you know, attractive, pretty, and then with some options of what to do or customize with the stuff that I'm recommending you add to your collection. What I did is I gathered some items. Most of them, probably like 99% of them, are drugstore, and the only reason I did it that way is so that this is a budget-friendly makeup kit, but obviously it can be translated into high-end products. All of these items that I'm going to share, I have my favorite in high-end version that I could totally tell you about, or if you leave me a question in the comment section, I would love to help. You guys know that I'm really friendly with my comments. I try to get back to you within like 2 or 3 days, and I'd love to help. So if you need tips, questions, advice, whatever, let me know in the comment section. So let's go ahead and get started. If we were going to start in order, like how we do our face, the very first thing that goes on our face is primer. And one of you guys left me a comment that made me laugh so much. You said, it's a crime not to prime, and I totally agree, because the primer is basically the foundation of your face. So if you do not take the time to prime your face, then everything else that you put on top is not going to last. So you're gonna think you don't apply makeup well, or that the products suck, or that, you know, you'll automatically think the wrong thing. But if you don't prime, it's not gonna make your makeup last or make your makeup show up the way it should look. So always take your time to prime. I personally, and I hate to admit this, I have never tried a drugstore primer that is an actual makeup primer. The only drugstore primer that I've used, which is not a primer at all, is the L'Oreal Revitalift. This is a moisturizer that has SPF and is designed to blur the fine lines. So if you're looking for a primer to make your makeup last or fill your pores, this is not the one. This just makes your face look a lot more smooth and protects it against sun protection. My number one recommendation for a primer is Benefit's Professional. I know I rave about the Too Faced Prime and Poreless. That's just my personal favorite. But for the general people, whoever wants to get their very first primer that'll probably work on your skin, greasy or not, oily or not, dry or not, is probably the Professional. This fills your pores. It makes your makeup last a really long time. It gives you a beautiful, soft, silky finish on your face. It's amazing. It doesn't smell. It doesn't clog your pores. It's really great. This is what I'm actually wearing today. So you do your foundation, and by foundation I mean like a home foundation, not a liquid foundation. So you put your base on your face, which is your primer. After that, you want to follow with a foundation. You could use a powder foundation, you could use a liquid foundation, you could use a stick foundation. If you're barely getting into makeup, I think the most forgiving type of foundation is like a gel foundation. The one that I picked is a high-end, but it is really affordable. I think it's $20, which if you compare it to some drugstore foundations, they're $12 or $13. It's not that bad of a deal. This is the Clinique Stay Matte. I have normal skin, and these are products that have worked for me, and that if I think about which products I'm recommending, these would probably work for most people. I like to use foundations that are for oily skin because I do not like to look dewy. I don't like to look shiny. You guys know I have a problem with shimmery, glittery oiliness. So I'm not oily, but I like to use things that are friendly for people with oily complexion. So this is a foundation for people with oily skin. And I really like it because it dries matte, but not ugly matte. There are some foundations that don't make your skin look healthy. They make you look matte, but they make you look like a sculpture. And you don't want that. You still want to look human, you know? And so this one is a gel base. It doesn't make a mess. It blends out beautifully, and you don't need to set it. So it lasts all day. Definitely look into getting an oil-free foundation, or maybe a gel foundation. If you go and get a powder foundation and you're very new at applying makeup, it's very easy for you to start looking cakey. And you do not want to look cakey because that's the #1 sign of, I have no idea what I'm doing. And you don't want to do that. You want to fool the people, okay? So after that, you want a setting powder or something to finish off your look. Of course, you guys know I'm obsessed with Neutrogena Shine Control. This is a translucent powder. It's just good because it absorbs oil. It makes your makeup last even that much longer. It doesn't have a color to it. You just have to be really careful because there are some women that have peach fuzz on their face. I have some in this area of my face. And if you do have like that fuzzy hair on your cheeks, this will make it stand out even more. So avoid it, or if you have a little tiny spray bottle with water, spray it on after you finish your makeup and your face will look amazing. So a setting powder. I actually skipped one. Before you set, sorry, I went out of order. Before you set, you want to use a concealer. And you don't need to have 2 different concealers in your collection, but it's good to. You need 2 different concealers for 2 reasons. You want a thicker or a creamier concealer to hide areas where you have like a blemish or a scar or something that you're not happy with, a birthmark or a mole. So you want a creamier, a thicker, heavier one. Then you need a lighter one that you want to put maybe under your eyes or on the bridge of your nose or your chin if you want to highlight. I keep 2 kinds of concealers on hand at all times. I keep a salmon colored one, like a more orange, to hide the blue in the bags of my eyes. You know, my panda condition, I'm seriously like in critical condition right now in the ICU because my panda circles have been out of control. My skin has been breaking out. I swear to God, someone put a hex on me. But anyway, so I don't care. You can break, my skin can break out, my panda circles can get black, whatever. I have concealer, so I don't care. So I keep a salmon color concealer like this MAC one. This is the Studio Finish Concealer to hide marks, scars, bruises, breakouts. And I also take a little bit on my pinky and I put it in the darkest area of my dark circles first, and I let it dry a little bit. And then I apply whatever else concealer I want to brighten my under eye. Do not put an eye brightener in your under eye area if you have panda circles, okay? If you apply a brightener to your under eyes and you have panda circles, your panda circles will look panda hooker to the max, okay? So you wanna make sure that you hide the blue or the black of your circles first, and then you highlight or you brighten. You can't do both at the same time. So a really good drugstore concealer, this one works for me as a brightener. It doesn't conceal very well, it's really light. But if you don't have panda disease like me, this one is a really good concealer. It's the Maybelline Age Rewind. So it's a really good one. And it has that sponge tip, which is a little, if you don't use it really fast, that might be kind of gross. So now that we have basically our foundation laid out for our house, we want to start adding the fun stuff. And the fun stuff involves things like bronzer, blush, and highlight. I personally do not think you need to own a highlighter. I don't think you need to own a bronzer. I think you need to have a blush for sure, but let me tell you why. Today I am actually wearing one of the blushes that I'm going to talk to you about. This is my favorite blush of all time. It's the Santa Rose by Rimmel. It's just basically a matte pink. It's a neutral matte pink. It's not a cool tone pink. It's just a regular pink. Basically goes with everything. You could have blue shadow, green eyeshadow, black eyeliner, wing liner, whatever. This blush goes with everything. So in your collection, and I hope you guys are taking notes because this is Makeup 101. I'm watching and there's going to be a test at the end. So you want a matte pink and you want a shimmer peach. So 2 different blushes in your collection. Any more than 2 is overkill. I'm dead already because I have way too many blushes. But again, a shimmery peach and a matte pink. And I'll tell you why. The pink is a neutral. It goes with everything, all skin tones, all complexions. And the shimmery pink is, or the shimmery peach is something that makes you look glowing. So you want to wear this in the spring or the summer, or when you want the extra special touch. This one basically for every day. This one if you want to look extra pretty, I guess. These are basically the only 2 blushes you need to own. Obviously we can get into like the deeper tones and the cooler tones and things like that, but if you're just getting into makeup, do not overwhelm yourself. These are the only 2 colored blushes you need. Optional items would be things like a bronzer. If you have a skin tone like mine that is really hard to match, because I am a really fair-skinned person, but I'm not beige. And people that are beige tend to be pink. I'm not pink. I'm fair-skinned, but I'm yellow toned. So it's very difficult for me to find a foundation. So I always have to add a bronzer. And the bronzer helps to kind of warm up that foundation so that you don't look so pale. I'm not wearing bronzer today. This is a bronzer that I would recommend if you do not feel comfortable bronzing yet and you don't want to make the investment. This is a bronzer by NYC. It's called the Sunny Bronzer, and it looks like this. And you use it to warm up your face in areas that the sun would normally hit your face. So in your chin, up the sides of your face, your temples, your forehead, you know, on the sides of your cheek. And that's also when you get into contour. I didn't contour my face today. You guys notice? I usually have like an overkill. It looks like I have a chocolate bar smeared on the side of my face. I personally prefer deep contour. That's just what I like, and that's what I feel looks better on me. If you're just getting into makeup, it could be a little overwhelming. And if you don't know what you're doing, it could look really dirty. You could look like your face is muddy. So it's good, it's a good option. So if you're not comfortable with it, I would say just avoid it for now because you can see you don't really need it. But it's good to have on hand. And if it just costs $2 like this one, why not make the investment and try it out. So again, a good bronzer to warm up a foundation in case it's not your proper match, or to contour the sides of your cheeks. And the other optional item, where is it, would be a highlight. Highlights are tricky because if you have oily skin and you highlight, you could look extra oily. So I just say avoid it altogether. I know my mom, for example, has really oily skin and she does not use highlighters that much. Unless she knows she's just gonna be wearing her makeup for a little while, then she'll do it. But otherwise, it could go south real fast. So highlighters are definitely an option, and I probably would not recommend it if you're just getting into makeup. But 2 options that you can have if you wanted to start your makeup kit are the MAC Soft and Gentle or Fergie by Wet n Wild in Rosé Champagne. This is a more pink tone, this is a more neutral tone. This one goes good or looks great on all skin types. This one does too, but it's a little bit more metallic. This one's $30, this one's like $6. So you decide, but definitely optional. Okay, you guys, this video is going to be very long. I am so sorry, but I think it's a really important video. Maybe you can watch it in sections throughout the day. Moving on, let's talk about eyes for a second. If you're just getting into makeup, you're obviously not going to do like bright purple, hot pink, or lime green eyeshadows, but you do want to add some definition to your eyes. Let's talk about 2 things that are optional, but that you do not need to add to your collection, and those are eye primers. An eye primer is good, in my in my personal opinion, because I have really thin eyelids and I do have some marks on my eyelids, so it works to even out the skin tone and it just helps make my eyeshadow last. But if you're just getting into eyeshadow, you're going to be using neutral eyeshadows, so it doesn't matter if they last or not because it's just a neutral shadow. Two options are the Jordana 12-Hour Shadow Stick in Almond or the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Optional, so don't need these. But if you're really interested in getting like a good start on your eyeshadows, I would recommend getting something like the Neat Matte palette. This is by The Balm, and The Balm is a high-end brand, but this goes on sale at Haute Look all the time, and you can get it for like $10. So it has all the neutrals that you would need, plus it's matte. If you're just getting into makeup, it's very important that you use shadows that are easy to blend and are probably matte, because if you go into the shimmery or the glittery and you don't know how to apply it, you could look really Lady of the Night-esque, if you know what I mean. So you want to be careful. Try and get a matte neutral palette first and practice, and then once you get really good at it, then you can venture out into the shimmer shadows. So this one's really cool because it has cool tone browns and warm tone browns or neutrals. So it looks great on all skin types. Plus these eyeshadows will take you like 15 years to use. They're so big. If you are feeling a little bit more fancy and you want to get a neutral palette but you can afford the splurge, I would say go with the Naked Basics palette. I think this is $30. Or the one that I use in every single one of my tutorials, which is the regular Naked palette. This is $50, but this will also take you forever and a day to use up. But really good eyeshadows that I would recommend for a beginner or for a basic kit are by Wet n Wild. Two singles that are a must in your collection are this one called Brulee, which is just a basic highlight for like your brow, or Nutty, and this is a really good crease color. So you're obviously not going to get all crazy and start, you know, applying 400 different eyeshadows to your eye. You just want an eyeshadow set that will allow you to create definition or smudge at the lower lash line, or maybe a little highlight in the corner. You're not going to get into craziness yet. Because, I mean, it's really obvious. I think something that I heard once that really stuck in my mind is whenever you're playing with makeup, you want to be confident, but you don't want to get cocky. Because the minute you get cocky is when you start looking like a hooker. So be confident and say, you know, I'm gonna rock that turquoise in the lower lash line like I saw in Danny's tutorial. I'm gonna rock it, I'm gonna look great, and yes, you will look great. A really good eyeliner. I mean, waterproof to the max eyeliner. If you are a lighter skin or you have blonde hair, I would say getting a waterproof brown liner, like a chocolate brown. If you have darker hair, black hair, or you have darker skin, I would say a black liner. I use black liner just because my lashes are black and it makes me look like I have more eyelashes when I really don't. My favorite black eyeliner is the Milani Liquid Eye. It's an automatic pencil, which is great because you don't have to sharpen it, and it's amazing. It lasts forever, it doesn't smudge. I've never had any problems with that. And after that, your mascara. So I have a couple recommendations for mascara. It's obviously drugstore mascara. My three favorite drugstore mascaras are the Maybelline Big Eyes, the CoverGirl Clump Crusher, and the Rimmel Lash Accelerator. I swear by these. Remember, I have normal eyelashes. I don't have those eyelashes that go down. I never use waterproof mascara, so I can't recommend any good ones for that. But these are my three favorite drugstore mascaras. But obviously, you only need one of these in your makeup kit. These are just several recommendations, you know, in case you prefer Maybelline over CoverGirl or you have a Rimmel coupon or whatever. But these are my top three drugstore mascaras. And I think the most expensive one of these is like $6, so it's a good deal. And now, like, obviously my favorite part of everything are lip products. If you were going to start a makeup kit, you do want to have more than one lipstick. Optional products in the lip category for me are optional would be lip liners. To me, if you have a really good quality lipstick, you don't need to make the investment in a lip liner. But my two favorite drugstore lip liners are by Rimmel, and it's East End Snob, which is a pink nude, and Innocent, which is a nude nude. So, but these are totally optional. In your collection, you want to have a nude, a bright, and a bold. So 3 different colors. Your nude can be a brown nude or it can be a pink nude, depending on your skin tone or which one you prefer better. My 2 favorite nudes are the one I'm wearing today. This is a pink nude and it's number 17 by Rimmel. It's the Kate Rimmel lipsticks. And it looks like this. The nude that I would recommend, or like the brown nude, is by L'Oreal and it's the Fairest Nude. But if you are like me and you go by how things smell, this one does smell really strong like perfume. So these are the nude that you want in your collection. After that, you want to have a bright. And a bright would be like a hot orange, a hot pink, a hot, like a red orange, you know, a really bright color. I picked this color because I think it looks amazing on all skin colors. I mean, from the lightest light to the darkest dark. And this is Hot Plum by Maybelline, the Vivids collection. So Hot Plum, number 900. And it's so interesting because this lipstick on me looks purple, and on my mom it looks hot pink, completely hot pink, and on me purple. But it looks great on both of us. So this color looks like this. See, on camera it's looking like hot pink, but in person it looks a little bit more purple. And lastly, you want a deep. A deep is like, think like a wine color or like a really burnt red. My favorite deep drugstore is 908 Sugar Plum Fairy by Wet n Wild. And when you see it in the container, you're like, oh my god, this is gonna be black. But it's really pretty. It looks like a MAC Rebel. Just like that. See, it's so beautiful. And again, this color looks amazing on fair skin and dark skin. So that's a really universal deep shade. It's like a wine color. And the last thing is lip glosses. I don't like lip glosses. I buy them and then I remember, oh yeah, I didn't like lip glosses. But lip glosses are a saver because if you have a lipstick that's too dry, like the Wet n Wild Mega Last lipsticks are really drying, it's always good to top it off with a little bit of shine. You want to have 3 lip glosses on hand. 3. It's not mandatory, but it's good. The first one you want to have is a clear. A clear because guess what? It's clear. You could put it on any color lipstick and you make that color instantly glossy. So always have a clear. Then you always want to have a glitter or a shimmer one. And I know you're gonna say, what? You're the queen against glitter. But it's good because it changes the tone of a lipstick. So right now I'm wearing like a pinky, peachy color. Have I had lipstick on my teeth this whole time and you guys didn't say anything? Look at that. And then you guys tell me not to lick my teeth. It's okay, you still love me, right? So it's good to have a shimmery one because it changes the way the lipstick looks. It kind of makes it look a different tone. This is my favorite. This is called Precious Pink, and it's a Sephora lip gloss. I know Sephora isn't drugstore, but it's cheaper than high-end. So if you see, it has a lot of shimmer in there, and it changes, because it has blue tone glitter in it, it changes the color of whatever lipstick you're wearing. And of course, a nude lip gloss. A nude lip gloss is good if you're in a hurry and you want to add something special to your lips, but it's also forgiving in case it smears or whatever. It doesn't look like if it was a red lip gloss. My 2 favorite are the NYX Butter Gloss in Tiramisu and the Mary Kay Nourish Shine lipstick. This is like a liquid lipstick. It's really cool. In Au Naturel. And I'll swatch these for you guys so you can see. This is the Mary Kay one, right there at the bottom. And then this one is a little more sheer. This is the NYX Butter Gloss. The cool thing about butter glosses too is they warm up with your lips and they kind of get softer and a little more sheer. So they're super pretty and they smell like cake. So who doesn't love cake, right? And that's it, you guys. That concludes my longest class of Makeup 101. I really hope you learned something. Remember that with makeup, your face is your canvas, and it's just good to learn and experiment and to be daring and brave. But don't get cocky, because that's when you start looking terrible. So don't be scared to try something new, but you really don't need that much stuff in your collection. I know that when I watch those makeup collection videos, I basically just click out because they're so long. I don't have that much stuff. Basically what you see is all I have, and even my stuff is overkill. Basically what I shared with you guys today is all the essentials that you need. So many products are optionals, like eye primers or highlights for your face or bronzers. So many of those things are completely optional, as long as you take really good care of your skin. The actual skin itself, whatever you put on your face, you're gonna look beautiful. So always, always, always have proper skincare. Wash your face, moisturize it really, really well, because 20 years down the road, there's not gonna be enough makeup that you can apply to make yourself look pretty if you didn't take care of your skin. So keep your skin healthy, drink a lot of water, and whatever else you put on is gonna look that much more amazing, okay? So I'm gonna write a list of all this stuff down below in case you missed something, just so you can know, oh, okay, these are the basics that I need to have on hand. And I really hope you found this video useful. Please give me a thumbs up and like this video if you liked it. If you liked it. If you found it beneficial.